Hello, and welcome to Nostalgia Marcana. I'm your host, Doug Lief. Each episode of this podcast, we'll look back on the movies, TV, games, people, and phenomena that we still love talking about all these years later, and ask ourselves why these bits of pop culture still enchant us today. This week, we'll be revisiting...
Be scared of it all. Sometimes the rain's gonna wash away. I believe this. When it's 3 a.m. I must be lonely. We're having she says, baby. Well, I can't help but be scared of it all. Sometimes.
Starting in the late 90s, Matchbox 20 began to completely dominate radio play all across the country. They are a band that acknowledges themselves as, as mainstream as can be, even calling one of their albums Exile on Main Street. But that is selling themselves short with their own self-deprecating humor, because they are one of the most successful bands of all time. And I'm very excited to be delving into their catalog today. I'm not doing it alone. We have 3 guests today. First, you know her, you love her. I know her very well and love her even more because she's my wife and my producer, Amy Lief.
Hello, everybody. How's it going?
And next, we're keeping it in the family still because he's another returning guest. He was on 3 of our past episodes on Power Ballads, The Beatles, and one more. Kyle, remind me.
I think there was just 2. I think this is
just 2. Oh, well, great! Congratulations, 3rd time's the charm. Everyone, welcome to the podcast. Amy's brother, Kyle Lieberman.
Hey, everybody.
All right, and finally, another returning guest. She was on our prior episode on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. You can find her work in the Bones Hollow anthology. Please welcome back to the podcast, Betsy Allen.
Hey, everyone.
So, I'm actually going to take a bit of a backseat in this episode because I am not the biggest Matchbox 20 fan. Not to be negative about them, they're just not my band. So I feel like I couldn't contribute a whole lot of insight on like a top 10 list of their songs other than to find a greatest hits package, scramble up the track listing, and then go, here, ta-da. But that's fine because our 3 guests are extremely passionate about this band, and I want their passion to shine through here. So, Betsy, I'll start with you. Tell me about why you are so nostalgic for Matchbox 20.
Oh my gosh, I've been listening to them since I was probably 19, and I'm coming up on a milestone birthday, which is going to be 45, and I have consistently listened to them. So they've just been in my life almost my entire life, it feels like. So,
well, cool. I'm glad you're here to talk about them. Any particular like individual moments with them, like the first time you heard them, or like the first time you saw them in concert?
Oh gosh, the first time I saw them in concert was at the 930 Club in DC with Karen and Lisa, who Amy knows, and it was amazing. Kyle Cook, we were in the front, and Kyle Cook threw me a guitar pick, so I still have that in the scrapbook.
Well, that's awesome.
It was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, any like interaction, I think, with a musical group, for some reason, musicians occupy a different space, I think, in that regard than, say, like a movie star would. There's something about a band that's like, somehow they ascend to it in a different plane. So getting like that kind of contact with them is really special. Kyle, how about you? Tell me about your nostalgic memories of Matchbox 20.
Yeah, Matchbox 20 memories for me go back to the 90s. Really, their first album. Their first album came out, first song on the radio on KLOS in California. I liked them, and then as they kept releasing songs off that album, I became more and more into them. And of course, it was my sister Amy here on our podcast that got really into it, and that kind of spiked my interest in listening to the rest of the album. Got really into it. Saw a bunch of shows between probably 97 and 99. I probably saw them 4 or 5 times. And really have just been into them ever since.
Cool. And I know that for people who've heard the show before, you are a musician. You were in a band for a while, so you actually kind of know actual musical theory. So you may be able to have some insights into these songs that maybe we mortals will not. So I'm looking forward to hearing some of that stuff. And Amy, I'll turn it to you now. Tell me about your nostalgic memories of Matchbox 20.
I feel like I could just talk for like an hour on this subject, honestly.
And you will.
And I will. But yeah, I mean, this was like the first band that I really like grabbed hold of and like took inside and felt inside. And I remember, Kyle, you had, I think it was the Third Eye Blind album. No, I had the Third Eye Blind album and you had the Matchbox 20 album, and we swapped. I think it was that. And we ended up swapping, and I just like, I fell in love with that album so much.
That is a very 90s sentence.
And where's Third Eye Blind now? No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, like, I found a whole world online. That's how Betsy and I met. I mean, we've known each other since then, and they like became my friends. I dived into like making friends that liked Matchbox 20, and this is when like people were making like pages themselves about bands. I don't know, like, what are they, like GeoCities pages were popping up about, and I had to find every picture I could of Rob and the band. So I made my friends with Betsy, and then there was a whole like group of 5 or so of us that got really close, and we've kept in touch since. I remember writing fan fiction. I traveled to
Hold up.
we talked about this on another podcast.
I know, we did. Which one was it? If people want to go find that discussion of was it Adventures in Babysitting?
Maybe. I don't know how we would have got to the topic of Matchbox 20.
Yeah, no, I forget how it came up. It was organically somehow.
Yeah, and it was like, oh my God, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, but what's funny is like I was obsessed with Rob Thomas, but my fan fiction was about the guitar player who's like not even in the band anymore. Because we figured everybody would be writing about Rob Thomas, right? I mean, all the fan fiction about Rob Thomas.
Sure, it's a crowded field.
Yes. So that was funny. Maybe I'll see if I can find it and we can post it somewhere. I don't know if I have it anymore.
Shattered something?
Tangled Webs.
That's it, Tangled Webs.
Which I wrote with another friend of mine. So we would like take turns like writing. And I think Betsy has one too.
Cool.
With someone else. Is that right?
Yeah, all mine were Kyle Cook.
Yeah, you did have a thing for Kyle. And then, I mean, Kyle and I, like, my dad asked me once, like, where do you want to go for spring break? He offered to take us, like, anywhere. Or not even spring break. I think it was, like, a random trip. So we went, like, randomly on a May, like, day and flew to New York to see Matchbox 20, and I got to meet the band afterwards, which was pretty cool.
And of course, when you say New York, we're not talking Manhattan. Amy went to Poughkeepsie.
Poughkeepsie, New York. But I think it was better.
The smaller apple.
I think it was like, I don't think had it been like a bigger venue, we would have had the chance to see them. Meet them afterwards, which was pretty cool. So yeah, and I will say that my interest in Matchbox 20 has kind of waned over the years, but I still have like such fondness for like, I only did songs from the first 3 albums, honestly. And I haven't been super interested in them since, but I mean, I love Rob Thomas. I love the band, and I always will. So
yeah, and like I said, I don't really have too many nostalgic memories of them. I obviously heard their songs; they were around. They weren't a band that connected with me personally for whatever reason. So all of my nostalgic memories of Matchbox 20 are tied up with you, like going to see them in concert, which I know we've done at least twice.
Sure.
And I think we saw them. We hadn't even been dating that long. I remember we went down to
Pachanga
to see them.
Oh yeah,
and
outside there.
Yeah, and I remember there's a picture of the two of us, just one of our earliest selfies, I think, when we were just starting out dating. So
yeah, because you had to know up front that like it was always going to be Rob Thomas and you. I mean, unfortunately,
it's fine. I know my place.
If anyone would ever come between our marriage, it would be Rob. Yeah.
Fair. Yeah. He's a beautiful man. So. As we've done with our prior musical episodes, everybody has come in, except me, with a top 10 list. So we're just going to go through them and talk about each song and what they mean to whoever picked them. So, Betsy, I'll start with you. So let's go with your number 10 Matchbox 20 song.
My number 10 is Hang On Every Word from the newest album.
It's okay if you can. It's okay if you freeze, 'cause it's about what you'll do next that gives you meaning. Sometimes they mean to break you, sometimes you need to be scared, but I am right is the hurt. I will hang on every word.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you've heard it, but it's really, Paul Duchette, from what I read, wrote it for his daughter. And it really has this beautiful vibe, like, I'm going to hang on your every word while you talk to me. You're my world. It really reminds me of my dad when I was growing up, because that's how he was with me. So that's one song. The first time I heard it, I was like, well, I'm going to cry. That's great.
Well, I mean, that's what good music should do, right? It should trigger that some kind of an emotional response. I think if it doesn't, then what's the point?
Right.
Yeah. I don't know this song, but now I'm like super curious to go seek it out. I apologize. I'm just not super familiar with the more recent albums, and that's kind of embarrassing to admit. Kyle, do you know that song?
I don't know that song, but I mean, I've heard it. I've listened to the whole complete recent album that came out earlier this year, and it's actually really good. I think the thing about it for me that makes it tough to put any of those later songs into my top 10 is just not knowing it as well. I mean, it's new. Falling in love with stuff off the first 3 albums was like, it's kind of like the nostalgia, right? It's like listening to Aerosmith. You listen to the old Aerosmith. You don't listen to the stuff that came out in 2000. So that's kind of how it is. But I have heard that stuff off the new albums, and they can still write, those guys. And with Paul Duchette now moving from drums to guitar, I mean, they kind of feel like they're doing what they used to do, because I think it was Adam on guitar, and Paul has picked up the pace really well. I think he's part of the writing of the songs now, and they have a drummer. I don't know who the drummer is, but whoever the drummer is now holds it all together. So they still sound and write just as good as they did back in the 90s.
Well, cool. That's a good segue. So, Kyle, I'll let you pick your top 10 for us, or your number 10.
My number 10, yeah. So for my number 10, I'm going off the third album. It's a minor key one, a darker one. That's one thing that I love off of every Matchbox 20 album, is you're always going to get a couple songs that are kind of darker in a minor key. Some that come to mind is like Bent off the second album. Busted off the first album kind of does that, where it's a little darker. So my number 10 choice kind of also reminds me a little bit of Smooth. It's going to be Disease.
You left a stain on every one of my good days, but I am stronger than you know. I have to let you go. No one's ever turned you over. No one's tried to ever let you down, beautiful girl. Bless your heart. I got a disease deep inside me, makes me feel uneasy, baby. I can't live without you. Tell me, what am I supposed to do about it? Keep your distance from it. Don't pay no attention to me. I got a disease.
Did you pick that song because of the musicality of it, or did the lyrics have anything to do with it?
Definitely the lyrics, but I mean, the musicality is really what drives that song home. Kind of that groove, how it's got that sort of minor, almost Spanish kind of funk that you can just kind of feel the groove. Lyrics are good, fine, but it's really the groove that
This
takes it
song
home.
too, I realized today was co-written by Mick Jagger, and I wonder if that had anything to do. I had no idea until I saw that today. So I was super interested that he had written on a song. I wonder if that had anything to do with the musicality of it.
Good point.
Yeah, and you mentioned Smooth. Obviously, Smooth is one of Rob Thomas's, if not one of his biggest song. Not really eligible technically for our list because it's a solo song. But just to share I just remember that song being so popular that I heard it on the radio, and the DJ literally said okay, we're gonna play it again, and they literally played the exact same song over again immediately, which never happens. So that just kind of showed you how good it was. And you're right, this song does sort of have, it almost feels like the prototype for that song in a lot of ways musically. So yeah, cool pick.
Betsy, do you have anything to say about that song?
It is one of my favorites. It didn't make my list, but I do love that song.
It pairs nicely with Infected by Bad Religion. But
yeah, another great one. That's a great one.
Disease was one that like kept going on and off my list, honestly. And like when we listened to some songs today, and if I'm going to talk this much, this podcast will be 2 hours. I'm sorry, but we heard an acoustic version of it, so it was like just the guitar and just Rob singing, and like those songs just go straight. Like if I could just have an acoustic album of all of the songs. Sorry, the rest of the band. So for me, it's like the songwriting.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways,
well, another you've teed yourself up nicely. What is your number 10?
So my number 10, I picked this song. Gosh, I don't even know what album. It was either the second or the third album. I'm terrible. Last Beautiful Girl.
It won't be the first heart that you'll break. It won't be the last beautiful girl. The one that you wrecked will take you back. If you were the last beautiful girl who will last beautiful girl. So tell me one more time how you're sorry about the way this all went down. You needed to find your space.
And I think this is another one. There's just second album, Kyle.
Second album, yeah.
And this for me is also kind of like a vibey song, the musicality of it. And a lot of these songs, like I really thought it was more about the lyrics, but it's really just the music and the melodies that are driving a lot of my choices. And I just think this song has like a lot of like very interesting parts, and it kind of jumps around between different melodies. And I think it's just a really, really pretty song. So that is my number 10 choice.
Folks, any other thoughts on Last Beautiful Girl before we move on to number 9?
Great choice. Great song. Really one of the best songs, I think, off the second album. I don't remember it being very popular, which was kind of a bummer because it was one of the first songs I heard off that album to where I was like, oh yeah, this is really cool. Really melodic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. Betsy, you're number 9.
My number 9 is She's So Mean.
'Cause she's an uptown, get around, anything goes, a girl. Girl. She's a hardcore candy store, give me some more, girl. Girl. She'll make you take her to the club, but then she leaves with her friends. She likes to stay late at the party 'cause the fun never ends. And all her clothes are on the floor and all your records are scratched. She's like a one-way ticket 'cause you can't come back. Say, hey, you want her, but she's so mean. You never let her go. Why don't you let her go? Hey, you want her, but she's so mean. You never let her go. Why don't you let her go? You know that if you don't shut your mouth, she'll freak out.
And I'll tell you why, because it's so dancey. I always want to dance to it when I hear it, and I can sing along with it. They make fun of me at work because when that song comes on and someone comes in my office, I'm usually dancing.
That is fun. I feel like they play that song live, and I feel like I've heard it live.
They did play it at the last
Yeah.
concert we went to.
Yeah, and it's a fun song live.
Yeah, they played it at the one I went to in Virginia Beach this year, and the energy was amazing with it.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of songs where the singer sings about how awful somebody is. I still think the winner on that, Bob Dylan has a song, I think it's called Positively 4th Street, if I'm remembering correctly. And literally the whole song is just him saying, like, the first line is, you got a lot of nerve to say you are my friend. And it just keeps going. That's probably the meanest song. So this might be number 2 or 3. But, like, yeah, you're right. Like, if for as kind of down as the lyrics are about, like, just how awful this person is, it's, like, super catchy and upbeat and dancey.
Yeah, that's what I love about it. And the video is so fun.
Remind me, what's in the video?
It's just them in a room and this girl like throwing records at them and she's catching things on fire. This just the mean girl just dancing around.
Cool.
So.
All right, Kyle, you're number 9.
Number 9, going back to the first album. I don't know that this will be on many people's list because it's a little obscure. A song called Argue off the first album.
She don't, but she will. anything to keep her by him. She takes what she gets, and she never did flinch, no. So over and over will anyone with any mind would think that's all she gets. If you want, you can get to know me well. We get along, so we shouldn't argue, yeah. And I don't know, yes, and I don't know, no. All these feelings cloud up my reasoning. Yeah, they cloud up my reasoning.
I think this one really touches a note for me because of just seeing them so live, so often during their first album live. I mean, we went to see so many shows when all they had were their first 12 songs and a couple outtakes, a couple other ones, but they would open a lot of their shows with Argue, and I remember when that kicked in, it just felt good. The melody is not particularly amazing. It's really the music that does it for me and just kind of the feel of that song. So I had to put it in my top 10.
Yeah, I feel like that kind of like that aggression you can feel in a lot of the songs in the first album. There was another song that kind of has that kind of that ended up on my like honorable mentions list. But yeah, this one didn't particularly stand out from the first album, but it's a good choice. And I remember, yeah, they would play like every song off the first album and then like rest stop or something. Like they would get with like one other song.
Black and White People, I think, before that came out.
Oh, really? Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, I think a lot of bands do that. Their first album is going to be super hard and aggressive, and they'll kind of soften as they go a little bit or explore different emotional spaces. I mean, even a band like, say, Nirvana, by the time you get to their third album, they're still literally singing a song called Rape Me, but if you go back towards like Bleach, like it's even more harsh, and like it's just, I think there's something about being young and an angry, rock band that gives you like, yeah, of course they've worked that song up and practiced it. No wonder they're kicking off, concerts with it.
Yeah. I think you can really see like the emotional growth of Rob in the songs or the whole band. But like just seeing like how angry and like kind of like raw some of the songs are on the first album. And then it like, I think it gets like more melodic and like he gets more in touch with like more emotions as like the albums build. I don't know if you guys would agree with that.
I agree, and I also think that the guitar work changes too. Like on the first album, I feel like I'm hearing the left and right guitar, like the Kyle and the Adam. Like that's one thing about Argue is you hear the distinction between both guitar parts. Where in the later albums, I mean, the guitar work is great. Not so much later albums, but even just the consequential ones. But they have a lot more production, a lot more harmonies, a lot more keyboards, great stuff. My favorite kind of stuff. But that's the thing about that first album. It's just so raw.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Good choice. Amy, your number 9.
My number 9 is also from the first album. I think it was the 11th track. It was Shame.
What we learned here is love tastes bitter when it's gone. Past yourself, forget the light. Things look dirty when it's on. Funny how it comes to pass that all the good slips away, and there's no one around you can remember being good to you. Shame, shouldn't try you, couldn't step by you and open up more. Shame, shame, shame.
Which is kind of a song about like sadness, and like I was just talking about how his emotions didn't kick in until later, but like this is a very emotional kind of sad. Some of these songs I couldn't honestly tell you like what he's trying to convey, other than like you can really feel like the disappointment in the lyrics. And I remember, I'm pretty sure I used a line from this song in my yearbook quote. Funny in a certain light, how we all look the same, and that line has always like stuck with me. So yeah, that's my number 9.
Cool.
That's a good. I like Shame. Shame was our honorable mention for me. I had it as like my 11 or 12 or 13, but yeah, another just great melodic song off the first album.
Cool. All right, Betsy, I will turn it over to you for your number 8.
My number 8, excuse me, is Bent.
If all along the way. Will pick me up and dust me off. And if I get too tired to make it, be my breath so I can walk. And if I need some other loving, you give me more than I can stand. When my smile gets old and faded, wait around, I'll smile again. Shouldn't be so complicated. Just hold me and then, or just hold me again. Can you help me? I'm bent. I'm so scared that I'll never get put back together. Keep breaking me in, and this is how we will end, with you and me.
I really just love everything about that song. And saying it's number 8 when I love everything about that song means my other songs I just love too. But I love, because I actually relate to this song a lot. You know, help me, I'm bent. I'm afraid I'll never get put back together again. That just, it resonates with me a lot. So.
Bent's a good track. It doesn't quite make my list. To be honest, when I first heard it, I was disappointed. It was the first single off of their second album, and I was ready for another Real World, right? Another good big major sounding song. And Bent, it was weird. It kind of sounded R&B. It sounded like they were trying something that wasn't them. But the more and more I listened to the album, I realized that song fit in, and the more and more I've heard that song over the years, I really appreciate it. So I think it's a good choice.
I think it's a great choice. It is on my honorable mentions. I had like a few that were like in the 11 to 13 block that kept like going up and down, and this was one of them. And I remember hearing the song in my dorm room and being just so excited that Matchbox 20 had another album that came out. And I just the beginning of that song, like, this is If I Fall Along the Way, right? Pick me up and dust me off. Yeah, and I love this song. This is a great choice.
Yeah, it's a real positive one. For it, like the message is, as you said, Betsy, like really relatable, because we've all felt like you've fallen and you've got to sort of pick yourself back up. So yeah, solid choice. All right, Kyle, your number 8.
My number 8 is Betsy's number 9. She's So Mean. That's why I didn't say so much the first time around. I love that song. I really only probably heard that song for the first time, I want to say 3 or 4 years ago. It's so good. It's so melodic. Their pre-chorus leading into the chorus, to me, it's just melody at its best. Lyrics, good, yeah, for sure. It's a dance song. Great lyrics. I feel it. But to me, that's actually a really good album. I think it's called North. Is that right? Their 4th album, North. A really solid album. Really good tracks on there. And this is the standout best song on the album for sure. I don't know why it wasn't as popular as it could have been, but this is a great track.
All right. Let's since we've got there, where are we at? Oh, you, I guess. Amy, your turn with number 8.
Number 8, my choice is the first single off the first album, so Long Day.
I'm sorry about the attitude I need to give when I'm with you, but no one else to take this from me. And I'm so terrified of no one else but me. I'm here all the time. I won't go away. Yeah, it's me. Yeah, well, I can't get myself to go away. Hey, it's me. And I can't get myself to go away. Oh God, I shouldn't feel this way now. Reach down your hand in your pocket, pour out some hope for me. It's been a long day. Always say that right when no load your hand won't stop it. Just keep you trembling. It's been a long day. Always say that right.
Which you just can't have a top 10 list without this song being in there somewhere. It's just a great song, great melody. I don't really know what it's about fully, but I just love it. It's like the vibe for me. A lot of these songs are like all about vibe.
This is one I didn't know until I saw them in concert.
Oh,
I think with
really?
you, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's a solid little ditty. Like
Yeah.
I enjoy this one whenever they bust it out."
Yeah, this is our first single. I'm pretty sure, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong,
Absolutely.
but they didn't really. It wasn't super popular. And then until the Push, they became popular when Push was released.
Yeah, that was well. I think Real World was pretty big. That was like a kind of wasn't that before Push?
I don't think that was before Push.
Yeah. Push
No.
was second.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
Push,
Well,
so
yeah,
like
that definitely
Push.
bust them wide open.
Yeah.
Guys, any other thoughts on Long Day?
It's I do like that song. I wish I had heard it before I heard Push, because I probably would have bought the album quicker, because I really do like that song a lot better than Push.
Oh.
Although I do love Push,
She's
as
got a
I'm wearing my Push shirt.
on.
And it is a great song, but yeah, I loved Long Day a lot. Just like you said, the vibe. It was just that vibe of that song is really good.
They would close with this song, and I remember that they would always go into like a last verse that wasn't on the record. And they kind of break it down and go into this cool, I couldn't tell you what they were saying, but it kind of extended it a little bit longer, and it made it so fun.
I do remember that. You're right. And I was going to also point out, like, there's so many, like, little, like, things about the songs that stand out to me that probably no one else thinks of. But, like, how he starts the song by just taking a deep breath. Like, I don't know why that is, like, interesting to me. But, like, the fact that they left that in is, like, such a, like, nuanced musical thing. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, you know, they had to have some kind of click track with that song, because they just all come in. It's sitting by, like, it's like, who was counting off? Like, they had to probably cut that out.
What's a click track?
So, but if you have a song like that where like everything just kind of immediately just kicks in at once, you need the musicians to all be able to know how are we going to start at the same time.
Yeah.
So without having a person literally say 1, 2, 3, 4, you could have a track that's like a clicking like.
Oh,
Like on karaoke tracks, you'll hear that, so you know where to come in. And then in the editing, of course, they would just wipe it out, so you don't hear it.
Huh.
Yeah, we used to do that with my band recording. We would actually have our drummer play to a click track. So there'd be click, 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 and he'd play along to that, because you want a song to be consistent tempo throughout. You don't want to start off slow and get fast and kind of jump around. So that's pretty common. And then, like you said, Doug, you just pull it out of the final mix.
Yep. All right, Betsy, you're number 7.
My number 7 is Rest Stop.
While you were sleeping, well, I was listening to the radio and wondering what you were dreaming when it came to mind that I didn't care. So I thought, hell, if it's over, well, I had better end it quicker. I could lose all my nerve. Can you hear? Sleeping. Well, I was listening to the radio and wondering what you're dreaming when it came to mind that I didn't care. I thought, hell, if it's over, well, I had better end it quicker. I could lose all my nerve. Are you listening? Can you hear me?
Which I first heard it live on a bootleg. Was it the Poughkeepsie show that you were at, I think? I do have that bootleg of that show you were at. And it's on cassette, and I still own the cassette.
That's
or not
amazing.
own it, but I still have it. But that song just, oh my gosh, it's like almost a worst nightmare. Like you're driving with someone, they're like, yeah, I don't really care about you anymore, so
Yep.
just get out of my car now and just go, because we're not going anywhere now. But it's kind of a haunting song, because, poor Rob.
Yeah, he says, he introduces the song and saying, like, this is an absolute 100% true story.
Yeah.
I always appreciate this song because this was one of the songs they played when they were touring off the first album, and we hadn't heard it on a record yet, right? We were just listening to it live. And then you knew that it was going to be on the second album when it came out because you saw it on the track list, and you're like, ooh, I wonder how this is going to sound when you hear it on the album. It was definitely different because I felt like live they did a little bit more acoustic, where they electricized it a little bit more in concert, which was really cool.
Yeah. I think there's the nostalgia in the song for me because of the live shows and being excited, like, am I going to get to hear the song? Something about hearing a song that wasn't on an album. This was also on my honorable mentions, but I put, like, the live version, not the recorded version, just because, like Kyle said, I just liked Rob would come out with his guitar and you knew or you were going to get something, like, really special. So this is a great choice. I love this song.
Cool. All right, Kyle, you're number 7.
My number 7 is Downfall.
I wonder how you sleep. I wonder what you think of me. If I could go back, would you have ever been with me? I want you to be honest. I want you to remember. I want you to believe in me. I want you on my side. Come on and lay it down. I've always been with you here and now. Give all that's within you. Be my savior, and I'll be your downfall.
Really dark, minor sounding song off of their third album. This song has everything I like about a rock song. It's melodic, it's minor key, there's a super big amount of harmonies at the end. I think they go into a full, like, chorus line. This is one of those songs that I could listen to over and over again. The production is so huge because you get a very kind of basic broken down verse with just a little bit of bass drums, guitar, vocals, and then by the time you're at the end of the song, it's full on orchestrated and just kind of pounding. So I love this one.
Yeah, I love this song too. I love, I don't know if when you're talking about the chorus, like, it's like, there's kind of like clapping, only love can save me. Like, it totally sounds like a different, like, almost like a gospel song at the end of it. Right. Yeah. I love this song. It's not on my list, but there's a certain vibe. What, is this the third album?
Yes, third album. Yeah, I
feel like those songs hit a little bit different. Yeah, that's a good choice. Betsy, anything?
Yeah, I do like that song. It's one of my honorable mentions. Because, and like you were talking about earlier, how the songs were fluctuating on your list. Mine did too. It took me days to write this list. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I do love that song. I thought it was really beautiful and just a really great song. The melodies and everything.
All right. Amy, you're number 7.
Okay. I find it interesting. We've had one overlap out of 12 songs. So that's pretty good so far. All right. This one I think is melodically like one of the most beautiful songs. And it's Lief.
I'm not saying there was nothing wrong. I didn't think you'd ever get tired of me. But if that's how you're gonna leave, straight out from underneath, then we'll see who's sorry now. If that's how it's gonna stand when you know you've been depending on the one you're leaving now. Hey, well, tell me, is that how it's gonna end? When you know you've been depending on the one you're leaving now.
from I don't know what album.
I think it's the second one. The second or the third? Third. I
don't
think
know.
Third.
I don't know. It's just it's such a sad song, and it's about like someone kind of like turning their emotions off and leaving a situation and not really understanding that. There's a really pretty melody. I think it's the pre-chorus. He's saying, "I'm not saying there wasn't nothing wrong. I just didn't think you'd ever get tired of me," which is like, oh, that's so heartbreaking and so beautiful. And he's just, he's such a magic wordsmith. I love that song.
I don't have too much to say about that one. I know the song. I know it starts off kind of a little orchestrated, if I remember correctly. It's one of the last songs off of one of those albums. Not a standout song for me, but maybe I haven't heard it enough, so I must revisit Lief.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's one of those that I don't generally skip songs, but sometimes I'll be like,
oh no!
I know, I'm sorry.
No, sorry.
There are very few Matchbox 20 songs I'll click over. Well, the new album, it's so different from when they were angsty.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still getting used to that album.
Well, if you're still angsty at their age, something's a little wrong. You can't be angsty at that old. All right, so Betsy, we're back to you for your number 6.
My number 6 is I Will.
And sleep away. Don't let it go. Don't let it fade. Your dreams may cave and falling apart. It's the only way. We go so low when you don't know. I will. And if you go, take a little piece of me.
I believe that's off the North album. It's just this really pretty, beautiful, like, love song. He's just saying, when no one else is there, I will be there. Just like, basically, yeah. It's very sweet. And it's one of the slower songs. Which I like when they do, I like when they slow down a little bit and just show their softer side, I guess.
I don't know that song. I'm so sorry. I'm not familiar with that album. Maybe Kyle, do you know that song?
No, I know I've heard it because I've listened to the album in its entirety, but I think there's only 3 that I can say I know the titles. But yeah, I got to revisit this one too.
Yeah.
And I'm useless. I only know the Beatles song of the same name, which is not helpful. So there you go. All right, then Kyle, you're number 6.
My number 6, we already mentioned this one. Amy had it maybe around 9 or 10, Last Beautiful Girl. Another great track off of Mad Season. Very melodic. I think the best part of the song for me is when it picks up, goes into double time for the bridge. Super melodic. This was one of my favorites when this album came out. I thought it should have been a single. It might have been. I don't know that it was popular. But yeah, loving The Last Beautiful Girl.
I thought this was going to be higher on your list. I'm surprised it wasn't. I feel like maybe it was just at the time it was like one of your favorites off that album, but not all time Matchbox 20. Yeah,
Agreed.
You already know I like this song, so yeah.
All right, well then, Amy, let's hear your number 6.
All right, my number 6 is off the first album. It's the last song. It's called Hang.
To let her go. Let her go. We always say it would be good to go away someday. Yeah, but if there's nothing there to make things change, if it's the same for you, I'll just hang. The same for you, I'll always hang. Well, I always say it would be good to go away. But if things don't work out like we think, and there's nothing there to ease their sake, and if there's nothing there to make things change, if it's the same for you, I'll just hang.
It's
I thought this was going to be your number one, but okay. Go.
we were wrong about each other, I guess. We'll see about our other choices that we talked about. Yeah, this is just a simple song and a guitar, and it's about a person like leaving a relationship and like relationship's kind of dead. I remember I was on the radio asking about this song. They like
a call-in?
Yeah, it was a call-in at Kiss FM, I think. They had Rob and Kyle were there. Rob and two of the members of the band were there. And I actually got through, and I was like, "Who sings the chorus? Is it Kyle? Is it Rob? I can't tell." And it's Kyle. It was just such a super niche question, like for like a 18-year-old to ask, or however old I was.
I don't know. They probably appreciate. I mean, because if you're doing like press, like you must get the same question 70, 80 times. So for someone to go like, actually, I have a really hyper technical production question, they're probably like, oh, thank God, something different.
Yeah. I remember somebody saying something's like sort of inappropriate, but I don't remember if it was them or the radio host, something about like what I was wearing. Like, I don't remember like what. I wish I had that recording. I will never hear it again. Actually, I have some like old cassette tapes about like the band in that closet, so maybe I could find it.
If you could find a cassette player.
That's true.
All right.
Yeah, but
I remember the call-in, Amy. I remember liking that song after listening to you on the radio for 90 seconds and thinking, oh, okay, so that's not the lead singer with the chorus. That's the guitarist dude. I guess his name's Kyle. Very early on in my Matchbox 20 career, but I have liked that song so much ever since. So solid, so slow, but another great tune.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably one of my favorites off that album in particular, is Hang. It's just, it was kind of heart-wrenching because, it's about leaving a relationship and like, well, I guess I'll just hang here.
Yeah.
Be awkward. That's how I took it. Maybe it's not how Rob meant it, but
yeah, maybe like staying in a relationship you shouldn't be in any longer, like hanging on. Yeah. All right,
cool. So that, I think, Betsy, you're number 5.
My number 5 is Unwell.
But I'm not crazy, I'm just a little unwell. I know right now you can't tell, but stay a while and maybe then you'll see a different side of me. I'm not crazy, I'm just a little impaired. I know right now you don't care, but soon enough you're gonna think of me and how I used to be me, and talking to myself in public and dodging glances on the train.
I do love the song. I have bipolar disorder, and I really feel like this is my theme song. I'm in a support group on Facebook, and we're all like, yes, Unwell is our song. But it's just really I don't know. And I was really surprised it became as popular as it did. Because, like, I'll put on a YouTube mix of, like, 90s music, and Unwell is, like, usually right there at the first one. And I was like, wow, this is cool.
Yeah, they still play Unwell on the radio now, for sure, all the time.
Oh, that's cool. I don't really listen to the radio much, so at least I know in West Virginia, our rock stations are lacking, really. But
I don't have a quote-unquote nostalgic memory of this song, only just of kind of messing around with it, in that I would change the lyric from "I'm not crazy, I'm just a little unwell" to "I'm not crazy, I'm just illiterate," because it kind of paired well, just the pattern of the vowel and consonant sounds. And I just like the idea of this song about this person, like, I know right now you can't tell, but anyway, nothing to do with the content of the song. Just a silly thing I used to do when I heard it. So There you go. That's the kind of insight I can offer as a non-Matchbox 20 fan.
I think it's a good choice. I think for your average Matchbox 20 listener, and that's not us by any means, that's going to be in their top 5, right? I mean, big chorus, very catchy, right to the point, probably one of the most popular songs off that album. Not in my top 10, not in my honorable mentions, but probably right after that, somewhere in the lower top 20.
Yeah. this is the song I typically skip. I don't have, this doesn't really resonate with me. I find it kind of like annoying. Sorry. But I understand that it's very catchy and like I can hear it in my head, like the crowd singing along to the chorus. I understand it's a fan favorite.
Okay. Then Kyle, you're number 5.
Yeah, my number 5 is Mad Season. I love the song. I'm surprised it wasn't a huge hit when it came out. It's got, all the parts are so great. It's got a great verse. It's got a strong pre-chorus, super sing-alongable chorus. I mean, it's got a great guitar solo. It's got that slow groove. I mean, it really has everything. And that, to me, it's very Beatlesque too. It's all the melodic parts all mixing together. I think I'll always be a fan of Mad Season. I think it was one of the first songs I heard off that album, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm in. This is awesome.
I'm looking at Betsy. Do you have anything on that song?
I am going to be honest. Mad Season is one of my least favorite albums, and I don't listen to it all that much. I mean, I will. When I was getting ready for the concert this year, I was like, okay, I got to listen to everything. But I mean, that's probably one of my lesser songs that I don't really enjoy.
That's all right. That's all right.
I do like the video though. The video is hilarious to me because they're all in the airplane and all the fans are like trying to rip them apart. And I did like the video though.
That's fun. This is a good. Yeah, I like the song a lot. It's a good song.
Okay. You're number 5, Aim.
My number 5. I think it's from the 3rd album, and I think it is just like one of the prettiest melodies, and it's "Hand Me Down."
Someday they'll find your small town world on a big town avenue. Gonna make you like the way they talk when they're talking to you. Gonna make you break out of your shell, cause they tell you to. Gonna make you like the way they lie, better than the truth. They'll tell you everything you wanted someone else to say. They're gonna break your heart, yeah, from what I've seen. You're just a one more hand me down, cause no one's tried to give you what you need. So lay all your troubles down. I am with you now. Somebody ought to take you in, try to make you love again.
Solely picked on the melody. It's just a pretty. I don't know if it's like a violin playing in the background. That's a Kyle question. I don't even know if you know that answer.
I don't know the answer, but it is a really melodic song from right when it kicks into big chorus. Great choice.
Yeah. I mean, the thought of someone just being a hand-me-down to it's like, oh, that is so like heart-wrenching and yeah. That's all. Not much else to say. I love the melody.
All right. Okay. Then
chirp.
Chirp, chirp. Then Betsy, you're number 4.
That would be So Sad, So Lonely.
Well, I learned to love myself, and I don't need no one else. And when love moves on, cause it gets cold, and another moves in, and it can fill the hole. I'm one more hopeful lying on the bedroom floor. No sense trying when the whole thing drops, you lose your nerve. I hope you get what you deserve. I said I don't want nobody
which I know was never single. No one's probably, like, we've heard it. I know we've heard it, but, like, any of my friends who just are casual Matchbox 20 fans are like, what's that? And I'm like, you have to listen to it. My favorite memory about this song, though, is the first time I saw them play it live, I was actually in California visiting my niece. We went to the Brief History of Everything tour concert, and it was her first concert. She was in her 20s, like early 20s, and I was like, yeah, I'm taking you to a 90s concert. Come on, let's go. And they played that song, and I was so excited. And later she's like, Aunt B, I've never seen you so excited before. I was like, it's one of my favorite songs. I never got to hear him do it live, so that was fun.
I'll ask, just since we're on the subject, what was your first concert?
My actual first real concert, it was probably, maybe it was Matchbox 20 when I went to DC to stay with a couple of the girls that we knew online. That was a real experience too.
That's a big faith leap to do that.
Yeah, because I went to stay with Karen, and I'd only talked to her through instant messaging, and we got on the phone a few times, and she's like, you should just come up and visit. And I was like, okay. And then Lisa had come in, and it was a real big deal.
I'm glad it worked out the positive way for you.
Oh God, me too.
It feels like this is the moment where everyone goes around and says what their first concert was.
Yeah, sure. We could take a quick detour. What was yours, Kyle?
I don't know if Amy was there. I know you were young. It was in the mid 80s, and I actually saw the Monkees. Great experience. Monkees live in like 87, 88. To be honest, it was weird to me that they weren't singing the exact same melodies as I heard on their records and on the show. So it was a little weird. And then, of course, as my concert career progressed, I realized that they don't always play it exactly the same. But it was my first like, oh, okay, so you're going to sing this song a little bit different. What do you remember about that show, Amy?
I remember that they were on a rotating stage.
Rotating stage, yes.
Was it in Long Beach? Like, where was that?
I think it was in Santa Ana or Orange.
Oh, I don't even know if that concert venue is still there. I don't know where it would be. I remember going. I don't remember. I feel like maybe our cousins were there.
I think so, yeah. 4 of us.
Yeah? Oh, really?
Maybe Dad was there. I don't know.
Someone must have taken us, though, because I don't think they were old enough to drive. Maybe.
I mean, it was like probably 87, 88, so we were little.
So I guess Dara could have had her license. But yeah, that's all I remember. I don't remember like anything about the music. I just remember that I was there.
Was that your first concert then? It had to be, right?
Yeah.
How old?
7 or 8.
Okay, cool. Well, then this will surprise no one at all. But my first concert was seeing Weird Al Yankovic at age 13 at I think the Greek in Los Angeles. I went with a friend's dad, took him and me to go see him, and that was the Off the Deep End tour, which was the one that was the comeback album where he did the Nirvana parody. So that was really exciting. My first adult type concert in college, a friend of mine took me to go see Neil Young doing like an acoustic set at the Wiltern, which was really cool. So there you go.
Yep.
All right, Kyle, your number 4 Matchbox 20 song.
Number 4, sticking with the third album. This is a song that I actually didn't really like so much when it first came out, but it's grown on me over the years. A song called Bright Lights. I'm sure everybody knows it.
I got a hole in me now. Yeah, I got a scar I can talk about. She keeps a picture of me in her apartment in the city. But some things in this world, man, they don't make sense. There's some things you don't need until they leave you. Then the things that you miss, you say, baby, 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 when all your love is gone, who will save me from all I'm up against out in this world? And maybe you'll find something that's enough to keep you. But if the bright lights don't receive you, you should turn yourself around and come on home. Let that city take you in.
one of the most powerful bridges of any song ever. Let that city take you in, let that city spit you out, I think was what he's saying. But damn, he belts it out for that bridge. And that whole song, when the drums kick in, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-do. Man, I think it's not just the song, but it's the production of that song that really hits home with me.
Yeah, I like the song a lot.
So
That's all I'll say.
Yeah, I'm sure it's higher on Amy's list. No question. I kind of predicted that in my head. Betsy, is any thoughts on Bright Lights, or are you going to give the same reserved answer that Amy gave?
Oh, it's in my honorable mentions. I do like that song. It's very pretty, and like he was saying, the production of it is just, I loved it. When I first heard it, I was like, oh, this is really great. But yeah, but it hit my honorable mentions.
Yeah, I like this one. If I had made a list, this would have probably been on it near the top. I think it's really well produced. I think the fact that, like you pointed out, Kyle, it builds and builds till it kind of bursts open there. It reminds me a lot of, like, say, Coldplay's Fix You. Like, it's kind of the same, like, what if we started real slow and worked our way up to something bigger and let the song kind of burst open. So I think it's one of their more sophisticated songs in terms of its like songwriting craft, its production, all of that stuff. It's not just like, hey, let's just do a 4/4, pop song. Like it's much more sophisticated as a composition. So I like that one a lot. So, okay, Amy, your number 4.
My number 4 song. I would be shocked if this song is on anyone else's list. I feel like it is such a deep cut. And I think it's from the 3rd album, and it's called Cold.
Spaces in between. If you could tell me now what it means to be. You have been found out. I have been deceived by the one that I need. Tell me why you gotta be so cold. How'd you get so high? Why you keeping me low? You don't know. And tell me how we're gonna make it last. You're ready to fly, I'm ready to crash. Don't go, no.
I feel like Rob Thomas has just a really good way of like singing about the end of a relationship. And like I said, on every other song, I love the melody, and like there's a very, very basic key change that Kyle will laugh about, but I love that key change at the end of the song, and the notes just kind of like go up at the end, and I just love it. I don't know why that stands out to me, but it does.
It does to me too. The key change. I mean, that's something that, being a musician, it's easy for me, but just, I guess as just a listener, you notice that in that song, they're kind of pumping through, doing the verse, chorus. It's great, really melodic. And then at the end, it takes the chorus up a notch. And to me, it's obvious. It's a big fat key change, and it's great. It makes it feel even more powerful. Great song. I knew it would be in your top 5, Amy.
Yeah, I love that.
You picked a lot of breakup songs tonight. Should I be concerned?
Nope.
Okay. All right.
Betsy, do you have any feelings towards that song?
I do like it. It was in my honorable mentions, which feels like it's longer than my top 10, honestly. But it is a good song. I do enjoy that song.
All right. Then Betsy, we're on to you for your number 3.
My number 3 is Hand Me Down, which is another song I remember when I first got this album, listening to it. I would just be walking to work, and I had a little Discman, and I was listening to it, and the song came on, and I was like, oh my God, this is me. If someone would sing this song to me, I would just be like in tears constantly. But yeah, so I thought it was a beautiful, and like you said earlier, heart-wrenching song. So
yeah,
and I tend to like those a lot.
He has just a way with those heart-wrenching words. He's so good at it.
He really is, yes.
All right. Kyle, your number 3.
My number 3 is an obvious choice. It's Real World.
I wonder what it's like to be a superhero. I wonder where I'd go if I could fly around downtown. Yeah. From some other planet, I get this funky high on the yellow sun. Boy, I bet my friends are already stunned. Well, they're stunned. Yeah. Straight up, what did you hope to learn about here? If I was someone else, would this all fall apart? Strange, where were you when we started this game? I wish the real world would just stop hassling me. You and me.
I mean, I can't not have Real World on here. I mean, the first song off the first album, drum fill, lack, dak, dak, daga, boom, right in. I mean, every time that song was kicking in, you know, okay, we're in for Yourself or Something Like You. Like, let's go, let's listen to this whole album. And of course, I really got to give kudos to, it was probably a Kyle Cook part, but there's a very famous one-note guitar solo in that song where he just, for like 8 bars, it's just ding, 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 and it comes off totally awesome. I don't know how a one-note solo could be awesome, but Matchbox 20 pulled it off on Real World.
I'm surprised you're okay with that guitar solo, or like I feel like
I know, as a musician,
like, what the heck?
To be able to pull that off and have it actually sound good, to me, that's impressive, right? If it was just one note that went on for days and there wasn't much going on behind it, maybe not, but yeah, they pulled it off on this song.
I think this song also has like a guitar bridge, doesn't it? Or am I thinking of a different song?
Yeah, it does have it's like a guitar solo. So there's basically like a 2 solo part. There's the one note and there's one later on after the second chorus.
Which used to be like a lot more popular, of just going into a break of like just guitar.
You don't hear that so much anymore these days.
Not at all.
I remember hearing this song a bunch. I mean, this was kind of the first song that I remember becoming really aware of them. But I remember being backstage when I was doing theater in high school. And there was another kid that I did theater with that was real into this band, and this song being something he was playing a lot while we were, you know, hanging around, putting our like stage makeup on or costumes together or whatever. And like, yeah, this song just kind of permeating that space. Like, that's my kind of first initial like memory of this band being a thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's, tied to that song.
Yeah, Real World is a really great song. I like it. The video, like, I love their videos. A lot.
Is that the video where like a zebra comes out and winks at everybody? It winks at you at the end, right? Is that something?
Yeah, and Paul Duchette's dressed as a waitress, and
there's like a llama or a camel in the bowling alley.
Yeah, it was just a fun video.
I remember that.
All right, then Amy, your number 3.
My number 3 was mentioned by Kyle a little bit earlier, and it's Mad Season. I didn't say anything before because saving my commentary for now. I think I loved the song because it was just so different than the first album. Like, it just didn't sound like a Matchbox 20 song, honestly. It was so like, I'm dancing, like vibey and poppy. I think the lyrics are interesting, and I think it's about like, I'm guessing it's about like being famous and like kind of going through that season of life and not knowing like what's next and unpredictability and stuff like that. But yeah, I love that song.
All right. Then that brings us to Betsy, your number 2.
My number 2 favorite song is a good old-fashioned cheating song. It's Back to Good.
Well, I was thinking if you were lonely, maybe we could leave here, no one would know. At least not to the point that we would think so. And everyone here knows everyone here is thinking about somebody else. Well, it's best if we all keep this under our heads. But I couldn't tell if anyone here was feeling the way I do. But I'm lonely I don't know how to get it back to good.
So I remember when they were going to make this video, there was like a contest for a fan to be in it. And I remember, at least on the Matchbox 20 news group, everyone going crazy about it. They're like, yeah, we got to try to do this. But I don't know why I like it so much because, you know, I don't really condone cheating. I've never done it.
Not many do.
Yeah, but I have been cheated on. So it's another resonating song, which is fine. It's like 1,000 years ago when it happened. So I've made peace with it. But yeah, it's just one of those songs that I can just listen to over and over.
I love the song. Go ahead, Amy.
I was going to say like that. I think it's the chorus. Everyone here, or is that the pre-chorus? Knows everyone here. Like that's just such a good melody. This song didn't make my list, but I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, it didn't make my list either, but it's great and it's a big, powerful one. It was funny because off the first album, they just kept releasing these songs, right? It was like, you know, after I think Real World was probably the fourth, and then it was like Back to Good. It's like, oh my God, you guys still have gas in the tank to have 5 singles off of a first album, and it's good. How is this doable? And yeah, by then we already had the album. We were already watching them play live all the time. But yeah, what a great song. Didn't make my list. Also, probably in the lower top 20, which is still good for a great band.
All right, then let's get your number 2, Kyle.
So my number 2 is, I think it's kind of like the fan favorite, you know, Push. Gotta go Push in here.
She said, I don't know if I've ever been good enough. I'm a little bit rusty and I think my head is caving in. And I don't know if I've ever been really loved by a hand that's touched me, and I feel like something's gonna give. And I'm a little bit angry. Well, this ain't over. No, not here. Not while I still need you around. You don't own me. We might change it. Yeah, we just might feel good. I wanna push you around. Well, I will. Well, I wanna push you down. Well, I will. Well, I wanna take you for granted. Well, I wanna take you for granted. Yeah, I will.
I think it's the song that really made me realize that this is a real band. After Long Day came out, it was Push, and it was like, this thing was all over the radio in 97, I want to say. Such a melodic verse, and then the chorus, I want to push you around. You could really feel that angst in his voice. I mean, really, my number 1, which we'll get to in a little bit, is more of a personal choice, but I think number 2, I think maybe from the world's perspective, is probably the most well-known, most popular song of all time from Matchbox 20.
Yeah, I mean, there is a reason it was used in the Barbie movie. Like, and I think if you were to ask people to name, you know, pull someone off the street and say, name a Matchbox 20 song, this would probably come up the most. And with good reason. Like, it was a big, successful, popular song. It's well written. I mean, there's, you know, it's got everything you need to be a hit. So. Yeah,
I remember Rob getting like shit in the news. People being like, oh, he's like a wife beat or a girl beater, you know, like and if you're actually listening to the song, it's that he was getting emotionally abused by her. Like he just turned the lyrics around, if I'm remembering that correctly. But yeah, this is also my number 2. So
oh, okay.
Yeah. So great choice. Great minds.
All right. Well, then before we get to our number 1s.
Oh wait, Betsy.
Oh, I'm sorry, Betsy. I cut you off. Yeah.
Oh no, I was just gonna say
you're wearing the Push shirt.
Yeah, I am. Woo. No, I remember when this did come out. I was a senior in high school, and I went to a Christian high school. And they were like, what are you listening to? It's like, you're listening to a song about a guy pushing a girl around. I was like, no, I'm not. That's not what's happening in this song. But I bought the cassette, honestly, based off of that song and fell in love with them.
I feel like this song became popular so fast. I feel like they played it on the radio and 3 weeks later it was number one. I mean, it was just caught on so quick to the world.
Yeah, I think if I'm remembering this correctly, so I just listened to a podcast with Rob, and I think there was a radio host in Alabama, actually. I think he said Birmingham, which is where Kyle's living now, who like just fell in love with this song. And it was back when you were allowed to play whatever you wanted on the radio. So this DJ put it on the radio, and then that's how it like started to pick up steam. So I find that an interesting, like, oh yeah, nice. That's how radio used to be.
I think a lot of bands owe their success to one DJ stumbling onto their album and then something, catches fire like that. Mm-hmm. Which, we live in an interesting time for music production because you don't have, the monoculture, you don't have the pipeline of like MTV or terrestrial radio really saying, hey, everybody, let's all listen to this thing. Yes, you get a Taylor Swift once in a while who will dominate musical charts, but there's only one of her. There used to be so many artists that everybody already knew, and now everyone's sort of in different niches and bubbles and stuff. So it'll be interesting to see how music develops in that way. Like, can you have a song like Push? And it's like, yes, but rarely. Mm-hmm. All right, so before we get to number ones, I want to hear some of you guys' honorable mentions. So, Betsy, I'll start with you. What's on your honorable mention list that we haven't touched on yet?
Probably the song Damn from the first album. I really just like she's taking her time. Oh my God, damn. I just love that song so much. But not enough to make it in the top 10, but it is definitely an honorable mention.
Anything else on that list?
Oh gosh, what is not on that list? I'm trying to think. I didn't really write them down. I just had them in my head.
Okay.
But it was off of, I think it was North, the English Town song, which I, like a casual Matchbox 20 fan, probably wouldn't recognize it or anything, but I always thought that was so pretty, just the melody and the chorus and everything. It was, it was very nice.
Oh, cool. All right, so Kyle, your honorable mentions.
Yeah, I wrote down 4 of them. Shame, which I think Amy mentioned in her lower top 10. Feel, which is the lead-off track of, I think, the second album, maybe the third. I think it's the third album lead-off track. All I Need, which is also on the third album. And then shout out to the EP that came out in, I think, 08, 09, 07 maybe it was, How Far We've Come. I like that song a lot. Not enough to make my top 10, but it's a good track.
Amy, your honorable mentions.
My honorable mention. So Rest Stop, the live version, which I said earlier. I put 3 a.m., the acoustic piano version, which is such a deep cut. Could I Be You? Disease, Busted, which hasn't anybody's talked about yet. This is that really gritty song from the first album. And then I put Bent. So most of those we talked about, or some of those we talked about.
All right, guys. Then that paves our way to hear everybody's number one. Betsy, your number one Matchbox 20 song.
It is from the first album. It's called Kody.
Now it was clear to all of us we kept this hat of broken dreams, and we pulled them out when we needed them around. So please hand me the bottle. I think I'm lonely now. And please give me direction. I think the hurt's set in. I don't feel nothing yet.
Oh, yeah. Good one. Love it.
Yeah, that song just, I went through I had a very close friend pass away when I was 21. And this was the album I had on repeat anyway. But when I heard Kody after that had happened, I was like, oh God, I get this song now. Just, it's so personal. And that one line, you know, if you've never heard that silence, it's a god-awful sound. That just, it just is heart-wrenching when you put it in context with like, oh, this person's not here anymore. We just can't, you know, it's just like, we're going to, what did he say? We're going to pull out this hat of broken dreams, and just all this stuff is just so personal. And so just, my favorite word of the night is heart-wrenching. But it was just, so that's my number one. That's my absolute favorite song. And I've never heard them do it live personally, but I do have some bootlegs, and hearing them do it live was just even more emotional. I couldn't imagine hearing it live personally, like in front of me.
Yeah, it's a good choice. Kody, I mean, so many good melodic songs off that first album. Kody always reminds me of Shame a little bit, but the thing that always stuck out with Kody was the backing vocal in the chorus, which is, Kody, you're lonely now. Like, that line right there. And I don't know if it's Kyle singing it. I feel like Kyle probably does it live. I think they played this song live a bunch on their first album tour. Great choice. Great melodic choice. Great lyrics, too.
Yeah, I can't. There's nothing for me to add there. Just, I think that Rob Thomas said in an interview at some point that this song was about him, actually. Am I remembering that? Betsy nodding. I don't know. I don't know why I'm assuming that you know that. Sorry for putting you on the spot. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that he wrote that song about himself. So he's actually singing about himself.
All right. Kyle, your number one.
Yeah, my number one was easy because it's always been my favorite. Probably always. It's their anthem. It's the song that I believe they close every show with. I mean, we've mentioned it on this call already. It's Long Day. I feel like it's the song that represents Matchbox 20. I know that it's not a fan favorite necessarily. Well, it's probably a fan favorite. It's probably not like a generic person favorite. But yeah, I mean, the breath in the beginning, we already talked a little bit about this earlier, and I tried to hold back, but I love Long Day. Every time that comes on, I still hear that on the radio here in Birmingham. Great track. First single off the first album.
Yeah, great. I mean, we had talked about it, so good choice. I didn't know that would be so high up on your... I felt like it was going to be high up on your list, but I didn't know it would be number one.
No one else can take this shit from me. He was saying shit on the radio.
Did it get through?
Now I think I would hear it, but probably not back then.
Back then, they probably would do that thing where it would go... and just stop.
Mm-hmm.
There's some, sanitized version of it.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, then, Amy, it's your last up for your number one.
Yep. So this song, we saw them over the summer, sometime in the last 5 months or so. And I was like, if I don't hear this song, I will freaking break down. And that's how I realized like this song just meant that much to me. And it was the last song they played. So we waited it out for this song, and thank God they did. But it's Bright Lights.
But if the bright lights don't receive you, will turn yourself around, girl. Come on home. Yeah, come on home. Baby, come on home. Yeah, come on home.
I think Kyle, you said how it kind of like builds So it starts out slow. You've got like just him and the piano, and then it kind of like breaks it down. And then by the end, he's like screaming about like, let that city, like whatever he says, let that city take you in. And I feel like if I'm analyzing it, he's singing it to his wife, who lived in New York. I could be making this up. And I kind of interpret it as like, okay, go live where you live, and, you know, experience your experiences, and I'll be here waiting for you when you get done with it. But I could be completely wrong. But yeah, I think it's just a beautiful, beautiful melody, and it really showcases his vocal talents and his writing skills. Just the piano. I feel like he probably writes a lot of these songs on piano because they're so like heavily pianoed. That's not a word, pianoed, but yeah.
I mean, this is a songwriting mold. We already kind of talked about it, like other songs that use this. I could think of like, you know, Unchained Melody by the Righteous Brothers, right? Same thing of like a song that just builds and builds and builds. Like, it's like you guarantee success in a way by engineering that structure into the song, because, you know, you can do it in all kinds of genres. Like Stairway to Heaven does that, right? Completely different musical genre, but same thing. Like you have that build and that climax in the song, and there's just something just like, you know, you build that drama into it, and you take your audience with you, like on that ride. Like it's, you know, yeah, just guaranteed success. It's a great song.
Yeah, Stairway to Heaven's a good comparison. Although, I mean, personally, I can't compare Stairway to Heaven with Bright Lights, because I think Stairway to Heaven is probably the best song ever written in history. So it's hard for me to compare it, but it does have that starting off kind of mellow, and by the time it's the end, it's just full blown huge.
Yeah, great picks, everybody. Well, we've come to the end here. It's not actually 3 a.m., but it's might as well be. It's 3 a.m. somewhere, which surprising, it was on no one's list for as big as that song was. But guys, so I'll ask you guys the question that I always ask on this podcast, which is, you know, why do you think people still are in love with this band, you know, decades later? What is it about this one that keeps it still alive and vital? Betsy, I'll throw it to you.
I think it's because they're so real and raw. Like, they write songs that you can really connect with, and they just mean something to you. Like, when we were at every Matchbox 20 concert I've been to, like, it's just everyone singing along, knowing all the words, and just really connecting with the band like that. So I think that's probably one reason why.
Kyle?
Yeah, I mean, first off, Rob Thomas's voice, that's undeniably great. But I think, like Betsy said, songwriting. I mean, the fact that these guys have songs that have stood the test of time so far, you know, Push and Bright Lights and Real World, and, you know, to name a bunch that were on our list, is that these songs are still great. The songwriting is just great. And you can't deny great songwriting, right? I mean, there's songs... We had a podcast, Doug, 80s metal bands, right? 80s hair band power ballads. Amy, we were all there. I mean, some of these songs, it's just great songwriting. When you have a band like Matchbox 20 that can write and pull it off live and pull it off on their albums, then it's a great recipe.
Aim?
Agree. Yeah, I think Rob Thomas has just an ability to write a melody and a hook and words. So much quotable materials from these songs, and just the way he sings, and just so much emotion, like raw emotion and talent. I'm obsessed with him. But yeah, I just think that they you don't get a lot of like bands anymore with like that songwriting ability. Like, I haven't seen it, honestly, or like you often have songwriters and then you have like the performers who come in and like perform the songs. So you know, it's amazing to see just how big their catalog is and how many hits. I mean, we just talked about 30 songs with a few overlaps. So that really talks about like the breadth of their like songwriting abilities. And yeah,
I'll tell you what I see as the outside observer. Who's someone who, you know, I'm fine with their music. Again, it's just not my band. But the words that kept coming up tonight over and over again, from you, Betsy, was heart-wrenching, and Kyle, from you, melodic. Those two words over and over again, I think, do define kind of what this band is at its core. So many of the songs you guys talked about, have, pretty heart-wrenching subject matter that's, because it's wrapped in this melodic package, makes it really accessible and digestible to the audience. And I think that's a lot of what's helped them connect, have the breadth of connection they have, right? They have a very large fan base. Like we sort of talked about at the beginning, they're as mainstream a band as you can get. But what helps them succeed in the mainstream and not then just immediately fade away is all of this emotional content that you guys have been talking about in all of these songs. So, so there you have it. That is our podcast on Matchbox 20. Let's do some plugging. Does anybody have anything to plug? Amy, you want to talk about your earrings?
Yeah, if you are interested in cute earrings, you can find me on at Momo Bunnies More Co. on TikTok and Instagram. Yep.
And Etsy. That's the store.
And Etsy, yes. You can find the link to my Etsy on either TikTok or Instagram.
And I will, of course, put a link to that in the show notes. So if people want to go find those and buy those, they can. Betsy, where again can people find your writing?
I'm actually, my anthologies, or the anthologies I am in, are on Amazon. So they're available as Kindle and paperback. I have my own author page. It's Betsy Ray Allen, RAYE. And it has actually everything listed on there that I have been in. So.
There you go. And again, it's Bones Hollow, right?
Yeah, Bones Hollow.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Kyle, anything to plug or just hanging around?
I don't have anything specific to plug, but I just want to thank you, Doug, for putting this together and releasing these awesome podcasts. A lot of good material that you're putting out, and I hope everyone enjoys this one too. Well,
that's very kind. It's very fun to do, and of course, but this one was not me putting this together, but this was Amy's brainchild. She is so often my best producer,
your production manager,
my production manager, agent, everything else. She's
coordinator,
brains of the outfit. So all the thanks goes to her and the credit on this one. So yeah, this was really fun to do. And thanks everybody for listening. If you want to drop us a review on iTunes or Spotify or Podcast Addict, wherever you found it, please take the time to do that. It takes 10 seconds to go drop something nice in there. That really helps the podcast visibility. Or tell a friend. If you want to communicate with us, we're on all of the following social media portals: X, Threads, BlueSky, and Instagram, as well as I just have a TikTok page where mostly it's me BSing around and doing impressions, but it's there, and that's a lot of fun. I've been enjoying doing that. So go to all those places if you want to contact us. So if you have thoughts on recent episodes, so I'm recording a whole spate of episodes, and I don't know what the order is going to be, but at the end of December we had Batman Returns for Christmas, which I believe was followed up by Ghostbusters. We've got this one. Independence Day is in the mix. We're recording one next week on A League of Their Own. After that, I'm recording one on Mitch Hedberg, another one on Crash Bandicoot, and I've got stuff in the works on Spaceballs and Happy Gilmore. So all of those are in the mix. Not sure what order they're going to come out in, but a lot of really fun stuff planned for this year. So looking forward to it. Guys, thanks again for coming on. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you so much for having us.
You just said space.
Just kidding.
Spaceballs. I just want to hear Spaceballs. Like, let's just talk about Spaceballs, but we'll wait. We'll wait for that.
We'll get there. Yeah, we'll have Spaceballs the podcast soon. All right, so that'll do it, everybody. So until next time, that is one more entry in the Nostalgium Arcana.
The cars are moving like a half a mile an hour, and I started staring at the passengers and waving goodbye. Can you tell me what was ever really special about me all this time? But I believe the world is burning to the ground. Oh well, I guess we're gonna find out. Let's see how far we've come. Let's see how far we've come. Well, I believe it all is coming to an end. Oh well, I guess we're gonna pretend. Let's see how far we've come. Let's see how far we've come. I think it turned 10 o'clock, but I don't really know. And I can't remember caring for an hour or so. I wanna push you around.